What's good, y'all? So I'm back with another video, and I wanted to go over some of my main prospects that I'm running in my figure fed right now. And I gotta say that it's an interesting time in society overall with this whole crisis and this virus thing. And so pretty much homebound and bored. And so anyway, this is like my figures that my top uh, prospects, I should say. Okay, so let's start with Alberto Del Rio. He is my world champion, and this is an older version of him. See? Anyway, so I was always high on Alberto Del Rio or Alberto El Patron, I should say. This guy is a mastermind in the wrestling ring. He's very good. I think he's a very good performer. Charisma wise, he has potential. It's just, there's a lot of boundaries in the WWE. So whatever exposure he had there is not a prime example of what he's capable of. So I would put him in my top. He's the world champion. That title right in my figure fed is the major title. So that supersedes even WE, like the W title. So let's go with my next. All right. So I gotta talk about Shelton Benjamin because I've always been high on him since he debuted. I remember seeing his match. He was with Charlie Haas. He was a tag team partner with Charlie Haas when he first started off, and I think he debuted on a Velocity. And I remember I was with my cousin. We were watching the Velocity show late at night where it used to air. And it was Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas. I don't remember his opponents. But his performance in that match was mind blown. It was like we never saw the Dragon Whip. My cousin and I, we saw him perform the Dragon Whip, which is that kick. It's like a kick that's blocked by the opponent, and then the opponent spins him around and he still lands the kick that he originally performed. And that blew our mind. And at the time we had SmackDown Shut Your Mouth on the PlayStation 2. And we created Shelton Benjamin just to give him that move because that move was featured in that game. And it was an amazing thing. I'm just a little disappointed how Shelton never really had his spot in WWE, and he came up in the class of John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton. They all have success except for him, and I kind of detest that. My next prospect is The Miz. Now, my version of The Miz is way different than the one on TV. I don't really mimic what goes on TV. In fact, I don't even follow up with it. I like to have the characters and be creative with them. So my version of The Miz is very involved in the backstage politics, and he's able to manipulate situations where he ends up winning. And it's an interesting. He's a heel, obviously, in my figure fed. Let's go with my next prospect, Kalisto. He's dangerous. This guy, I kind of took after those, I don't remember the show Breaking Bad, those twins. Well, I kind of gave him that gimmick where he's just like, you see him and you're in trouble. He's a little guy, but this guy, he brings it. He brings hell. So you don't want to fuck with Kalisto and my figure fed. Let's go with my next prospect. I set everything up here because I'm doing like a Royal Rumble match in my figure fed, and these aren't all my prospects. Oh, here we go. So Cody Rhodes has been a prospect way before AEW. I always thought Cody was a good poster boy for like a figure fed or any type of fed. So he's like my version of John Cena or Superman. He's like the headliner. He's like a big deal in my figure fed, and he has been since he debuted in the Elite line. Actually, when he debuted in the Elite line, I had him a heel. He was like a heel, so he wasn't really that important. But he evolved over time, and he became a baby face, poster child type of thing. Who else is a prospect here? Uh, I think that's about it. I mean, Vader, he's badass just like he was in real life. Vader is a legend. He's still a performer in my figure fed. May his soul rest in peace. But he's still kicking ass and doing Vader bombs and all that stuff in my figure fed. I also have Eddie Guerrero, which is stored away somewhere. But hold on, I gotta say Umaga. Oh no, hold on, let's go. Big E. He's like he's more serious in my figure fat. I don't joke around with these guys. Like this, Big E, he's a performer. So in my figure fat, he's kicking ass, and he's not playing games. He's not doing no stupid New Day, gimmick or nothing like that. This guy's a serious badass, and I would say I would mirror him to like a Mike Tyson in his prime. But he's like a oh no domino effect. Oh good. So yeah, he's like my version of Mike Tyson in wrestling. Like maybe Taz in his heyday. I should compare him to. But yeah, Big E's a badass. So who else? Oh yeah, Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston also another New Day member. These guys I don't joke around with. He's a serious performer, and he has a lot of potential in my figure fed. The only setback with him is that he's usually booked as a tag team partner, so he doesn't really get to venture into a singles run. And that's not due to any lack of talent. It just so happens that that's the booking. I do very poor booking. I'm not a booker, so yeah, Coffee, Trish, you gotta stand the hell up. So anyway, so the guys that lose in my figure fed are guys like Roman Reigns. See, like he's a badass and stuff, but he's outnumbered. I had a storyline in my figure fed where he was, the Shield was a faction in my figure fed that I mimicked, but the Shield was protectors of the Authority. They were the security of the Authority, which is Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. And Triple H kicked out Seth Rollins from the Shield. He kicked Seth Rollins, and the Shield has weakened since. It's not the same as TV where Seth Rollins turned on the Shield. In fact, in my figure fed, Triple H kicked out Seth Rollins and pretty much weakened the Shield, which were three members: Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns. So when they kick out Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose kind of loses his shit and basically drops his whole Shield gimmick and goes off like Rogue and whatever. And the only remaining Shield member is Roman Reigns, but he gets tired of Triple H's shit and basically goes rogue himself. But since then, he's been dwindling from his ranking in my roster. So, Curtis Axel. This guy is like a loose cannon. He's kind of like a Brian Pillman type, but Brian Pillman / Stone Cold. He's a wild case, but he really doesn't grasp any titles. He doesn't have any he doesn't really have a good rank in my figure fed. Daniel Bryanson, Brian Danielson, whatever his name is, Daniel Bryan. I don't know. He has a whole list of names, but he was a face, but now he's kind of like he's struggling in his position on the roster, and he's probably on his way out. So that's about it. Yeah, that's pretty much my prospects for today. So stay tuned. I'm gonna have more videos coming out. Subscribe, like my freaking channel, and whatever.